bodies in the sand. Tropical drink melting in your hand. We'll be falling in love to the rhythm of a steel drum band. Down in Copenhagen. I grew up in Jamaica. Ooh, I wanna take you to Bermuda, Bahama. Come on, pretty mama. Key Largo, Montego, baby, Island Digo. We'll get there fast and then we'll take it slow.
All right, good morning, Montgomery County. Sorry we're a little late. Our 5 minutes till lasted like 40 minutes. No, I'm just kidding. Welcome back, Mornings Lone Star. We're here again. We are your morning radio show on Lone Star Community Radio. Big shout out to the folks outside. Just to let you know, no smoking on the premises. Just to let you know. I don't know. But we're hanging out in the studio. Feel free to call in at any time. We're on YouTube Live, Facebook Live. Just visit irlonestar.com/MWLS for everything, how to listen to us and good stuff like that. If you are listening to us, congratulations. Your morning is almost complete. Just wait till you get to 11 o'clock. We are giving away tickets at 10:30 to Taste Fest. We're going to come up with a cool question. So get on Facebook, get on Twitter, get on Instagram, get on your phone, or get on YouTube Live or Facebook Live.
Just get on it.
Because that's how we accept the answers, is all those different ways.
Now, what if they like kind of kick in the studio door with a big presentation?
It doesn't matter how they get the answer to us as long as it's time stamped.
Okay, well, a personal appearance, running into our studio and screaming out the answer.
That's probably not time stamped. I'm just letting that know. So,
but no, we're live, so it would be going 5-second delay. But.
Yeah, but if somebody's on Facebook already typing it in, and by the time they open that doorknob, it's already time stamped.
I just want someone to come kick in the door to make us freak out.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is already 9:06. Give you a weather update here. 75 degrees. It's not going to break 90 today. Only 89. Got some cloudiness happening today and tonight through the weekend. 1% chance of rain. Lows into the 60s. So high of 89 today, 87 tomorrow, and 90 on Sunday. As the kiddos outside our official Lone Star Radio plate glass window will attest to, I think they're running around the swimming gear already. They're probably going to go hit the little park, Founders Plaza, with the little water spews they got going.
Well, it might be Twinderella next door, right?
Yeah. Hey, kids outside the radio station, the window, are you guys going to Twinderella? Is anybody listening to us?
Here, I'll turn it up outside. Let's see if we can get them.
Hello, family outside the radio station window. Are you going to Twinderella?
They have no idea.
They have no idea what's going on. Okay, I'm going to move past that one.
All right, let's do some weather. How about that?
Traffic. I just did the weather.
Oh, sorry, I wasn't paying attention. But yeah, this morning, it's amazing how Microsoft just wants to screw everybody up at one time.
I had an automatic update happen, and I had been editing a video. I had left the editing going on. Fortunately, I saved where I was, but programs were open. And apparently, Windows nowadays, when it updates, when it does the installing and stuff, it'll reboot by itself.
Oh no, it's horrible. It's
bugged the heck out of me.
Well, what's wonderful for the radio station is we use 4 computers at all time to operate everything, and you can tell when the internet goes real slow that all 4 of them are updating at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And then you'll do I'll get a domino text of oh, hey, you're down, hey, you're down, hey, you're down, hey, you're down. And I go, oh, you must have had an update. Yep. So that's what's happening right now.
Yes, we are. Okay, hold on. So what's the percentage right
now?
It's
at 11%.
Okay, it was at 4%, I think, when we started.
Yeah, so we got to keep talking for a while. But feel free to comment on Facebook. Yeah, feel free to comment on Facebook, all that kind of stuff.
What's the worst thing that's happened to you during a Windows update? Because I'm sure there are some horror stories. Give us a call, 936-647-3776. Hit us up on YouTube Live. You can comment there. Facebook. You know the drill, people. Interact with us. We love it when that happens, especially since the people outside our window just won't acknowledge our existence. Are you sure? You're sure the loudspeaker's on out there?
It should be.
Hold on, let's try this. Get
out.
No, the kids aren't scared. They didn't get it.
You can go over there and check it out.
No, I'm good.
So
I'm comfy.
all right. But good morning. Good morning, Sean.
Good morning.
How was Kiss Me Kate?
We had our brush up rehearsal last night. It was actually, we were waiting for Bettina's Best First Data, and Sea Kids had their presentation, a musical, Tooth Fairy musical about a tooth fairy named Bettina, written by Denise Ditto, local resident. And so they had a performance last night, and then they'll have another one on Saturday afternoon. If you go to owentheater.com, that's theater with an R-E, you can find out about that, or you can find out about Kiss Me Kate. So we had a fun brush up. You know, that's where the whole cast and crew gets together, and we kind of race through everything to make sure we remember the lines and the dance steps. It's the little refresher. Sometimes it gets a little silly. You got to, you walk that fine line. You don't want to get too silly, but, it's a way to blow off steam.
Yeah.
And we are ready for it tonight. Looks like tickets are selling nicely. Still lots of spaces. Same thing for Mother's Day. I'm bringing my mom out. I found out that a lot of cast members are bringing their moms out, or their wives who are moms for Mother's Day. So
that seems a little too easy.
Right. And then after that, I'm taking my mom and wife and my mom's friend who's visiting from out of town out to Via Italia, just a few blocks away. Great food. I know they're not a sponsor, but I'm going to still say awesome things about them. Really good food, awesome service. And but they're usually not open on Sundays, but they are for Mother's Day. Now, Your mom is coming to Kiss Me Kate tonight, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we better not mess with the pooch on this one.
Yeah, riding off the coattails of
Hamilton.
so good luck with that.
So hold on. So it's Dick's mother's favorite show is Kiss Me Kate, or movie. Show or movie?
Show.
Oh, darn. So she knows the difference between the movie and the stage version. And she just watched Hamilton, and she's coming out, okay, this is going to be fun tonight.
Hey, you should be good.
Well, considering that we put the show on for literally 1/10,000th of the cost of an episode of or a show of Hamilton, I think that's pretty good.
I didn't really. Okay, I got to ask you something. I don't know too much about plays and things like that. Mm-hmm. Is Hamilton an old play?
No, it's pretty recent. Only about like 2-3 years old.
Okay, but it's like the new awesome one, like the new Phantom of the Opera.
Yeah, that's pretty much it because of the following behind it. Now, Phantom of the Opera was, of course, glitz and glamour.
Okay,
big spectacle. You had a chandelier falling to the floor. You had all kinds of stuff. They would actually have to rebuild theaters to match the stage. Hamilton, not so much. It's smaller, but it reached whole new audiences because they were afraid that, the Broadway musical was going to slowly die out because all they were doing were coming up with old 80s movies and putting music to them and having you do musicals. Very tired, very trite when they had Saturday Night Fever, the musical. Yeah, and Hamilton.
Well, I mean, if you're trying to capture an audience,
but you're not. It was just okay. What movie do we have the rights to?
But it's easy to do that though because someone goes, "Hey, this already has 10 million people who know what it is."
Well, again, it's easy, but after the 20th musical in a row where it's based off an old movie, it's like, come on,
I'm still waiting for the Lord of the Rings musical.
There was one.
No way.
Yeah, it ran in Australia. It was really big, a big money thing because they had like elevator sets that would come up and down to show different places. Oh yeah, it was huge. It did, no one else could put it on.
Was it a musical?
Yeah, full musical. And I'm sure as long as Wagner's Ring Cycle, you nerds know what I'm talking about. But so with Hamilton, what happened was Lin-Manuel Miranda. This thing started off much like Jesus Christ Superstar did, which was just an album. It wasn't supposed to be on stage. And people liked the album so much that they put it on stage. Hamilton was originally called the Hamilton Mixtape. And it was like a musical, but done like an old mixtape of songs telling the story about Hamilton. And eventually got onto, Workshop, then onto Broadway. And it just took off and a whole new audiences came in. All these kids, these youngsters.
Yeah, my niece is 13 and she's never seen Hamilton until I guess whenever they went to go see it this week. And she knew all the lyrics. She's an artist. She draws cartoons and she drew, I'm not kidding you, like a full moving cartoon to a song.
Wow.
She timed it to a song.
That's on, and so that's what opened up now.
And this is she hasn't even seen it.
Personally, I'm sure I would enjoy it if I saw it, but I'm not one of these guys that's going to pay more than $20 for a ticket to it. Maybe 50 if it's good seating.
You know that's.
But it did open it up. It's hip hop
Does
music.
that make you average? Oh, is it hip hop? I have no idea.
Yeah,
the one thing I know about it is it's about Hamilton. That's literally about it.
Right. It is hip hop based. One thing that the theater can do that most other places can't is that the cast is supposed to be multiracial. You know, Thomas Jefferson is black in this production because it's highly stylized. There's some musicals you can do that with, some you can't. 1776 is another musical based. You know, that's one based on the Declaration of Independence.
They need to do Willow the musical. That would be good.
I would pay cash to see Willow the musical.
More than $20?
I would. Well, I would hope to be cast as, you know, a little dwarf in there.
No, you can be Kaya, his wife.
I guess I could wear a wig.
Yeah, you have the hair. You can do it.
Yeah, it's really sad to know your Frodo days are behind you.
Well, I'm trying to think of because the Book of Mormon was pretty big. I remember that.
Mhm.
I don't really see that many. The only plays I really see are at the Crichton and at the Owen. Now, if the Woodlands or Willis or wherever else has a theater, I'd go see it. Our friends, you know.
Well, I have a feeling that a large venue will be coming up because the only large venue we have right now in the area is the Pavilion, and that's not good for a stage production. You know, just it's not set up for it.
Well, I've seen the ballet there. It was pretty good.
Oh, well, ballet and symphony, yeah, but I'm talking like a musical
Okay.
or even a more intimate play where you want a lot of people to come, but they need to be indoors, not lawn seating, not kids running around screaming. But yeah, like Book of Mormon, same thing. You got some musicals that are now written by younger people for younger people, and is making it accessible again. I'm excited. Personally, I'm not a fan of Hamilton. You know, like I said, I would watch it if somebody offered me a ticket, but I'm not going to go out of my way to see it. I prefer 1776. But I love the fact that it's opened up the audiences so much to these 13-year-olds who never considered theater before.
Yeah.
And that's why I teach Shakespeare and do it for kids, because I love getting them past the fear of Shakespeare.
Well, Shakespeare just needs to be dropped from the curriculum.
Oh, you and I are going to have some words about this one off the air.
It's called Move On.
Is that what MoveOn.org is? Getting past Shakespeare? I wondered about that.
What is MoveOn.org?
Well, according to you, it's getting past Shakespeare. Oh, Dick is going to type up and tell us all about MoveOn.org. I think it's
oh yeah,
it's to tell Hillary Clinton, listen, you're never going to be president. Just get past it. Move on.
I love this stuff. This is great.
So tell us.
Well, the first thing I see is it says protect the Mueller investigation. That's the first thing I see.
Protect it from what? It's been going for over
know.
a year now. There's no one's done anything to it.
Trump would create a constitutional crisis if he fires Mueller or attempts to compromise his investigation.
How?
That's why we're preparing emergency nobody's above the law rallies around the country.
Okay. Go for it, people.
I'm going to look at their petitions.
You look at MoveOn.org. That's kind of like the petition version of GoFundMe or something.
Change.org?
Yeah, there's also Change.org. That's another one, too.
We're always changing. Well, what's going on? I know we're going to do some local news around 10, so we can't really bust into that because this is the weekend.
Where are we on the Windows update? We got to get people.
We're at 23%.
Okay,
it's going real slow.
You know what we should do?
What?
Oh no, I'm trying to figure out how we can make it happen. It's like when we take when we get to 10:30, when we're going to give away the tickets.
Yeah.
Put it out there. What percentage do you think we're at of the update? Closest to it wins the ticket.
I wish it didn't do this though, mainly because it has our commercials on it. So we can't take breaks. That's what I was trying to tell you.
Oh, like
we might not be. Yeah, that's what I was trying to tell you. It just wanted to do it. And I was like, son of a gun, like right now.
Anyway, so what percentage are we at again?
24.
24. Okay, it's going to take a while. So we are sponsored, speaking about commercials, by Clean Sweep Office Cleaning and Conroe Coffee. Now,
I mean,
hang on.
How big of the soapbox can I give you? Because that gives us time, right?
Yeah, really would have. And hold on the air. Where are we?
We're always at that camera. The one that
Clean Sweep. Conroe Coffee.
That's Clean Sweep Coffee. Yeah.
Yeah, and is our trash been emptied?
I emptied it.
Clean Sweep Bob's Cleaning, who every now and then shows up to clean your eye. I'm joking, but we do thank our people. There you go. There's our commercial. And
So what's the biggest news headline for the weekend we're going into? What do you think? Because I know those 3 American citizens were saved
yeah, but
or rescued. What do you call it? Rescued or just exchanged?
they
or-
were renditioned. They were brought home.
Okay.
They weren't saved.
So we got all that intel they had. They're the spies. They got all of it.
Yeah, pretty much. So they'd done their bit. But it's going to be interesting to see what the headlines are going in, because we do have, the morning headlines include the Stormy Daniels attorney who, is going after Mike Cohen. Michael Avenatti is the attorney. Now they've just learned that he himself has had some very shady looking business dealings in the past and tax issues. And then there's a question on if he was able to legally get these records, because he in order to get the raid on the records, he presented records saying this looks iffy, and that enabled the raid.
And how did this come out?
Well, this is being released as more and more.
Is this just basically how the news cycle works? Is like this guy's name has been repeated 40 times.
People
now
start asking questions, but here's that part of his claims against Michael Cohen, the former Trump attorney, apparently involves other Michael Cohens, including one, Michael Cohen's live in Canada and stuff. It was like, oh, Michael Cohen this, Michael Cohen that. And so the question is, okay, did you get, much like the Mueller investigation was launched on a single document, that after the investigation is launched, they're like, oh, this document has pretty much been made up. Same thing with this. We're launching this investigation, or we're launching this raid based on the documents. Then the question came out, how did you get these documents? You're not supposed to have these. These are privileged documents. So that's opening that up. Now,
yeah, I was reading something about that where it wasn't the IRS who did it. How they got the documents, and like they could tell who it was down to the user login.
Mm-hmm.
And they found out who it was pretty much within like a day.
Yeah.
How he got the documents.
And so those are, that's when the second wave of questions happen. Now, this could be above board, and, honest mistakes could have been made. Who knows?
Is this kind of go with that saying that never trust a lawyer or whatever? Because
well, actually the statement is from Shakespeare. First thing to do, let's kill all the lawyers.
Yes, that's what I was wondering.
Yeah, that's Shakespeare. You just tried to quote Shakespeare.
It was?
Yeah.
I doubt he was the first one to say that.
Yeah, no, that's actually in a play, but he's the character speaking ironically. But still, he quoted Shakespeare. How's it feel?
He's been around for a while, so
yeah, that's right. You betcha.
MoveOn.org.
But it's not so much the lawyer aspect of it. It's
because I'm thinking to myself, if I want to have somebody on the TV 24/7 yammering about this person's a bad person, well, you're also in a profession that, there's a good chance that people might see what you've done in the past as bad.
I wouldn't say a lawyer. I'd say a politician. Because lawyers.
Yeah, but from what I've read about this guy, he the shady dealings isn't shady dealings. It's like he's been convicted. He's there's been.
Well, he was named in suits.
Yeah, he's been sued. He's been all this kind of stuff where he's taken money from people, and it's proven. It's not just hey, let's go on, let's do anonymous sources and stuff like that. It's none of that. We're kind of reporting. It's no, this guy he owes $200,000 to this guy, and.
Yeah, Patrick Dempsey from Grey's Anatomy was a partner.
For Tully's Coffee.
He had to settle, and so that's the thing. You put yourself in the spotlight, and all of a sudden you're under the same microscope by some people. And I think for a while people were hoping I can say these things about this group of people, and people will just accept it. Well, now some media is looking for more of the story. So with this whole Cohen thing, that now I remember when the documents came out, Cohen got $500,000, $50 million, whatever, from Russia oligarch. Oh, there's everyone screaming on CNN, because I was watching CNN as having dinner at this restaurant. It's proof positive that the Russian collusion. And then it turns out that what this looks like it happened is that Michael Cohen, who once upon a time represented Donald Trump, started passing himself off as a confidant of Trump to different companies and business individuals, say, hey, pay me and I'll get you access. I've got the president's ear. I've got the president-elect's ear. I can talk to him. So AT&T gives him like $500,000, and then they try to get it back when they realize he's not going to give us anything. You know, he's just, oh, I can tell you about what he's going to do with the telecom industry. So all these businesses are trying to get their money back from Cohen. I think we're going to find out once again, lots of time, lots of energy, lots of headlines have been spent on looking for a collusion that I really just don't think was there, trying to connect these dots, where it's going to turn out Cohen was just an idiot and saying, oh, I know the president, so I can get you access, and I'm going to charge you for that access.
I mean, would you take advantage of that if you're given that scenario?
Not at that level, no.
Because that's one thing that was polarizing in the election, if I remember, was everybody, like the before and after the Donald Trump guy announced that he's running for president, where basically he was kind of one of those, I wouldn't say like a joke, but like online he was known as like a character.
Mm-hmm.
Like when he was at the parties and all that, he was just a character to be around. People wanted to talk to him because he's just over the top.
Right.
But then right when he announced his candidacy, everyone was like, oh, what a jokester. What a jokester.
Mm-hmm. I really think when he first announced it was, and this has happened in local politics as well. There's some people that will run for an office knowing that the chances are pretty grim that they're ever going to get elected, but they have something to say or they want to stir the pot.
Which is great.
And I really think that that's in the early days of Trump. Remember, at that time,
you can't think of what he was thinking.
No, this is my personal opinion. But I believe, because remember
You're not
back
allowed
then,
to have opinions on this show.
I can't opine. There were 17 Republican candidates.
That was a lot.
17, and he was one of the 17.
You know that RNC guy was like the stage coordinator. Was like, man, how are we gonna fit all these people on here?
Well, you saw these and they tried to say, well, we're gonna have a debate, but
not
everybody.
We'll do it on the football field in Dallas.
Yeah, it looked bad, and of course, no one could. Here's the thing: Trump is the master of the soundbite.
Is he?
Yeah, he is. And that's how, because when you have a debate with 17 candidates, or even 7 or 12, or more than 2 or 3.
Yeah, he was the one that came out of it. Like everyone remembered.
Exactly. He was the last man standing, and no one, and I believe not even he felt it. I believe the book, that Fire and Fury book that was saying he was freaking out when he got the nomination. Which it was funny because I know a lot of people, yeah, but the book is out. It tells the truth. Well, in the book, it says Trump was just freaking out that he got nominated. Like, oh my God, how am I going to do this? Well, if that's the case, if that's the truth, why would he be colluding with Russians to get the nomination to begin with? You can't have both.
Yeah.
So I don't think he meant to be president. I think it was, well, I have things to say. I'm going to say it. Remember when he first started, the Republicans were convinced he was a Democrat in sheep's clothing because you've
already said this. We've already covered this.
We have. It's been a couple of weeks. But you see what I'm talking? I understand. Where are we at the percentage?
I understand that's what you're talking about, but it's also one of those things that the internet and the access to information is going to be so obvious to people. And now with people, I mean, that's really the danger with the fake news is the internet, because people can make things appear a certain way, especially like on Wikipedia and things that people take Wikipedia as truth, even though anyone can really edit it. That's the dangerous part.
There was a while where Wikipedia was like the go for journalists. That was the go-to, and now you can't. More and more people are responding.
Let's go under other news stories. So I want you to know, and I want everyone listening, Condor Coffee is a great place. So don't think we're trying to talk about another coffee shop because we don't like Condor Coffee. But
you're on your own with this.
But everyone will be happy that Starbucks says their bathrooms will be open to everyone after controversial arrests back in a month ago. So now all the restrooms are open.
Oh, you mean I can go in and use the restroom even though I don't buy anything?
Yeah.
In other words, for me, nothing's changed since 1987.
So there you go. Just letting everyone know. If you're ever driving down the road and you're like, man, I really got to use that restroom, Starbucks will be there for you.
Cool.
You know, that one employee's like, really? Really, you're going to invite people in now? Now we're inviting them in?
There will be a surge for about a week of people doing that.
Well, that's one thing that confused me. Like when I was working at Kroger, the amount of people that would use the Kroger restroom, because it's kind of like using the restroom at Lowe's. I mean, there's a rare opportunity to use the restroom. So basically what that told me is anytime someone uses the restroom, it's for emergencies. It's not just kind of like, oh, it's my daily routine. I'm going to go into the Kroger. So that means cleanup was really bad. and if you catch my drift.
Oh yes,
So I feel sorry for
I
this.
can smell what the dick is cooking.
I feel sorry because there was some man I could. Oh, there's some great. There was one of my favorite stories while doing the bathroom duty at Kroger.
Oh, that's right. You were Mr. Kroger.
Yeah, so somebody took the Kicks for kids or whatever. I don't know.
Cereal?
I don't. This is the question. Like this is one thing. Is like you're like, how did this happen? It was the one when Kicks came out when they were colored, like they weren't the normal like colorless ones. They were all over the bathroom, but wet. So like wet Kicks, what it looks like, it's kind of like half Kicks, half like sludge or like snotty,
like soggy.
And it was all over the restroom, and all of them were wet.
no.
And I was just like, how does this happen? How does this happen? But I had to clean that up. That was fun.
Oh joy!
Yeah. Well, I'm pretty sure at any job, if you're 15 or 16, you're the bottom of the totem pole, in a sense of whatever comes down to nasty stuff, you got to do, as long as it doesn't endanger you. Because like they wouldn't let me do any of the cardboard box cutting or anything like that. They wouldn't let me use any of the tools.
No sharp instruments.
But if it had to do like, oh, someone's got to empty out all the expired milk, and there's like crates of it, or like we got to get rid of all the expired meat, who's gonna do it? Oh, Dick will do that. Let Dick do that.
So what if you had to do one of those schleppy jobs, which was the least painful?
Well, they weren't painful. It was just kind of I enjoyed it because it was just different. My favorite thing, and I would like average every like 3 or 4 days, somebody would break a pickle jar. That's one thing that amazed me while working there.
Really?
Yeah, like for some reason, like just pickles though, just the pickle aisle.
You think someone like grab a jar and try to open it up so they could?
I don't
steal
really
a
know.
pickle
Like
out of
I
it?
don't really know what people's deal with it, how excited they get over pickles, but they would just drop that stuff, and it would happen all the time, and I was very surprised. But yeah.
Interesting.
But yeah, no, we have milk. I did the meat. The milk was interesting because it wasn't just expired by a couple days. It was like
cottage cheese.
Well, is as if the milk guy would go in and be like, "Hey, we don't want them to see stuff that is somewhat old." So they take it out and put it in a crate, but then they put that crate somewhere where no one would ever touch it. So no one knew what to do with it until like there's like 9 crates. And they're like, "Oh, what are all these crates doing here? Ooh, these are like 2 months old." Yeah.
Wow. So now I am Mr.
I don't think I've ever drank milk after that.
Well, I am Mr.
You're
Expiration
Mr. Milk.
date.
You're Mr. Milk too, though, right?
I am, but if
So
I'm anywhere near the expiration date,
I need to
It
I need
goes
to let
out.
you do that a couple times. I think I poured out like one time. The most was like 120 cartons,
oh my goodness!
and all of them were expired by 2 to 3 months,
I worked
and
the
they
night
weren't in the refrigerator.
I worked the night shift at a stop and go, so I feel partially your pain. I've never had to do that much milk.
Well, no, there was a time where I was like, "Why am I the one doing this?" Like there was several times in that
What's
job.
written on my forehead?
Well, no, it's just kind of like I remember we're doing the meat because the meat didn't make any sense to me because it's like this is the meat department. This is what they do. Like they have this whole department over here, and then like no, that's not what they do. So it was great. That was a great job. I had that job for a while.
And then you traded up to radio.
Yeah, no, that wasn't the first change. That was when I started going into college.
Okay,
So
interesting.
Yeah.
I learn more about Dick every day.
Yeah.
This is cool. Well, in a subject change, West Sacramento, California is launching a controversial program to watch people's social media posts. So almost like a Big Brother's watching you. It says the pilot project gives city leaders a look at what's trending in the city, whether it's good or bad. It's also creating privacy concerns about how the data is being used. And this happened because a wave of mailbox thefts hit the city last year. People complained on social media, and then city officials were alerted to the community concerns by this new system called Zen City. And it's a system that crawls through publicly available social media posts on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, takes all that data and sorts through, find what people are talking about and whether it's positive or negative. Now, it sounds like a kind of on steroids version of what's that thing we use locally, Nextdoor?
Yes.
Yeah.
do you use that?
I'm a member of it for my neighborhood. It really helped in times of like, lost dog or floodwaters coming up or strange
I had
white panel van
I
driving
had to tell
around.
Holly not to use it anymore because where she lived, people would report rodents and things like that.
Oh no!
And so she would immediately go, "I can't believe what they said on Nextdoor. Did you see what they said? They said they found a dog eating a cat over here." And I'm like, "Don't stop reading that because That's what happens when you live in downtown Houston.
You're right.
So
Yeah, so just interesting because is a program like this Big Brother where it's just taking the data, ACLU sounding off saying, "Oh, this is a privacy issue." I don't see a privacy issue. If you're posting something on Facebook, it's there for the world to see anyways, unless you set it to private for just your friends. And they're taking that data that you put in, you know, doing an algorithm to find keywords to see what you're talking about West Sacramento. If I post every day, West Sacramento sucks, then they get that. And they'll say, okay, there's user Skippy. So I don't know. What do you think? Is this a privacy concern? Is this really different from Nextdoor, where it's just neighbors? You know,
I wouldn't worry about it.
Nor I, but it was there. So, and what are we at percentage wise on the Windows update?
We're at 81.
81.
I love how I decided to do this. Now, one thing, also, I wanted to tell you this story. It's really creepy. It's one of those like, what if Xbox Live kind of thing. I don't know how long you've been around knowing people on the internet. Well, apparently this older woman met a 12-year-old on Xbox and she kidnapped him.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. So she came and kidnapped him and she drove 13 hours to do it.
She drove 13 hours
to go get the boy.
And then do...
Well, they're calling it kidnapping.
Okay. Did the boy go willingly?
Yeah.
Okay.
But they're calling it kidnapping.
Well, yeah, because a 12-year-old can determine, you know, his fate. Yeah. Wow.
Isn't that insane?
It is. Now, with Xbox Live, you know, with both my kids and actually both my stepkids, everyone had their own little avatar and stuff. But I would keep tabs on it, you know, doing the spot check thing. I had one of those things where, like, you know, computer passwords, like for everyone's social media, went into a separate sealed envelope that was taped to the inside of the computer desk cabinet door, and to say, listen, this will be like break glass in case of emergency kind of thing. They could check anytime to see, it's like, here's your password in there. Now, if I ever need it and I rip this envelope open and use it and you've changed it, you're in trouble. But yeah, so parents, keep tabs on your kids. Xbox Live is still a thing, I guess. I haven't used Xbox. My Xbox got packed up. So I can't wait till are there any 3D Xbox games? Because I have a 3D TV.
3D's dead, man. You didn't see that they announced that?
I know. I'm going on Amazon to try and get what movies I can.
How did you feel when they announced that?
I was kind of bummed. There's a Games Plus in the Woodlands that they know me by like I walk in like, oh yeah, 3D's over there. We got this and that in.
Why do you want to buy 3D movies so bad? Just to justify your purchase of the TV?
Well, I didn't even purchase the TV. Some friends, lovely friends, gave me the TV. It's beautiful.
But
TV.
What movies would you want to buy? Frankie and Johnny
in 3D. Okay, so there's been some great ones in 3D. The Walk was awesome in 3D. That's the guy that tightrope walks between the World Trade Center.
Yeah,
that was wonderful. But
you know who directed that movie?
No,
the guy who directed Back to the Future.
Zemeckis?
Yeah,
I think I heard about that somewhere. But yeah, awesome. Totally forgot about that. Great movie in the 3D.
Yeah,
because it doesn't look CGI.
You know, I can't believe you even talk about the Han Solo movie.
I just don't.
It's coming out this weekend.
I don't know.
Or not next week. Next weekend. They had the premiere or something like that though in LA already.
Did I hear something that the episode 9 trailer is out?
I don't think so.
As YouTube, I got a message this morning. I was
probably fake news,
bleary-eyed. Well, it came from YouTube, and I thought it said episode 9 official trailer, but my Facebook wasn't blowing up with all my nerd friends going, "Oh my gosh, oh my gosh."
Well, I did the homework of checking out Han Solo. The actor, his name is Aldrin I can't pronounce his last name, Heinrich, but I watched him in Beautiful Creatures. I don't know if you ever heard of that movie, but it was one of those Twilight kind of movies where there's a book and there's like a trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
And I
think Jeremy Irons is in that.
Yeah,
one.
Jeremy Irons and Emma Thompson. And so I was like, oh, this is going to be great. And then it wasn't. And I definitely suggest you checking it out because everybody has a Southern Georgian accent, but like South and Georgia's different from Texas,
right?
And everybody has one. And it's wonderful. And it's weird is I'm pretty sure most of the actors in the movie are from the United Kingdom. So imagine a bunch of actors from the United Kingdom trying to do their Southern.
Well, it's the same thing with Walking Dead. Half the cast is British, and they all got to be from Atlanta.
So Are you gonna check out the
The
Solo
Han Solo
movie?
I don't know. It's getting mixed reviews already. USA Today's Carly Malenbaum is praising Iron Reich. There you go. And Donald Glover, who's playing young Lando Calrissian. But apparently there were other directors, Chris Miller and Phil Lord, who were they were original directors who were fired during the filming, and then Iron Reich took over. Rotten Tomatoes calls it, quote, kinda a blast. And Entertainment Weekly points out that the rough edges in the movie, but felt director Howard pulled it off. Wait, like who? Director Howard? Who? Oh, Howard. Never mind. I got you.
Are you serious?
It's Ron Howard.
Yeah, I know. It's, man, this computer thing's really killing us. I'm dying here. Folks, if you're watching, give us something to talk about, because
Yeah,
we were supposed to take a break like 30 minutes ago.
We're
But
supposed to be on our third break right around now.
man, Windows, like I swear this happens every time. You don't need it to happen.
Where are we at?
84.
Wait, we were at 84 last time.
I don't know, man.
Just thinking about it.
We do want to say a shout out to our night guy, Julian Shea.
Reverend Julian.
Yeah.
What's he up to?
Well, he just said some guy really likes him. And I think Brad Meyer wants those 2 tickets to Taste Fest. But he's got to wait till 10:30.
Yeah, you got 50 minutes.
We might actually be off the air because we can take a break at that time.
It'll be 10:30-ish when we give these away. So are you going to go see Han Solo?
Oh, probably, yeah.
Rogue One I loved because it just told the
But
untold
did
story.
you love it before going in?
I was eager to see it because it told an untold story with new characters.
Well, what's weird about it, and this is something I know, like they're banking on Star Wars and everything, but have you ever seen a movie series or any type of book series where they create content in between the stories? It's like, why do I care what happened to Han Solo prior to Star Wars, the originals? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like Rogue One, I get because it's all fresh characters, and it's like, hey, this is what happened in between.
It's something you hear about.
Yeah, but like now we're watching Han Solo. But like, what made Han Solo who he was in the older movies that we had to know what made him?
I agree with you. It's kind of like going through the motions. Okay, this is where he's gonna play the poker game that gets him the Millennium Falcon. This is this is the friendship. And the original prequels kind of show that we didn't need to know. I think almost universally, when we're watching episodes 4, 5, and 6, a lot of people in their head had built up how the rebellion had started, how the Empire had gotten so evil and stuff. And then when Lucas put it together with the original trilogy, episodes 1, 2, and 3, it was so much less than what we had in our own mind. Just like, wait, trade wars? Jar Jar's responsible for this. Anakin goes yippee and wins a pod race. No one.
Well, yeah, it's like, I guess that's part people who write the dialogue need to.
Well, there's just so much less. It's like, because think about, in episode 4, Ben Kenobi's telling Luke, oh, your father is the best star pilot in the galaxy. Really? I never saw that. He's 20 years old, sleeping with a woman 10 years his elder.
Yeah, that was really.
Yeah. This love story. And so much of the original trilogy, I think that's why it's panned. It was less than what people had in their heads.
Being an actor, did you ever do that monologue about sand? Would you ever do that when you were auditioning? Doing the Anakin Skywalker episode 2?
No.
You would never do that?
The only 2 monologues I've done based on movies, I did the Robert Shaw monologue about the USS Indianapolis from Jaws.
Okay, yeah. That's a good one.
And then once I did there was a TV show called How I Met Your Mother, and a great episode called The Time Travelers, where the guy kind of meets the mother. He goes back in time in his mind, and he gives this beautiful little 1-minute long speech about, I'm going to meet you in 44 days, and we're going to grow up, we're going to get married, we're going to fall in love, we're going to have 2 kids and this and that. But I'm here now because I want this 44 days back. I want to meet you 44 days earlier.
What movie is this?
It was How I Met Your Mother, the TV show. It was a sitcom, but it had a lot of really heart-wrenching
That
moments.
show sucked.
Are you kidding me?
Sucked.
It was awesome. And I also,
you could tell in the writing every day they're scrambling. Like, how can we keep this going?
They didn't want to. It was the network.
So that's what I'm saying. They had someone put a gun to their heads and be like, y'all got to write more of this crap.
And that's why people hated the last season, especially the last episode, so much. because it was supposed to end a lot earlier, but the writers and creators knew the ending because they filmed it like 10 years previously with the kids.
You like crap television, man.
I love that show. It was
Why?
fun. It was great. Wondering who the mother was going to
What
be.
was it? Okay, how is it not weird that the premise of the show is the dad telling the story to the kids, either through television or whatever?
Mhm.
But after season 1, you're like, man, dad slept around a lot, like a lot. Not just like, oh, hey, he had a moment. No, this was for like 7 years. His
Well,
moment was 7 years.
Well, that's the thing. Ted is inappropriate talking with his kids because the mother's died and wasn't there to say, this is what we do and don't say to our kids.
Yeah, but I mean, the idea of it being like a cliffhanger, like who's your mother? How I Met Your Mother.
I watched for 10 years.
Would you want somebody to tell you, your dad, to tell you a story, How You Met Your Mother, but fake you out like 42 times? But even go into the depth of like sleeping with them. That's so creepy.
I just love the fact that every time they decided to partake of illegal substances, that he referenced it as eating a sandwich. So
Well, I mean, there's ways to be clever about it, but I mean, like that's just how's that not weird to you?
oh, it's a setup. It's weird. You know, it's like MASH lasting.
Would you judge him? Would you judge your dad if you're like if he was whatever his name was? Because my brother likes the show, and when I lived with my brother, that's when I was like I had to watch it kind of.
Mhm.
And I realized, I was like, this guy, the only reason the show stinks is because the main character. Like, if they changed his persona, it'd be fine. Like, if he was a womanizer, I get it. But he's not. Like, he's not trying to be, but he always, like...
He's a serial monogamist. And that was the biggest problem is when they finally introduced the mother. Everyone loved the mother. She was this wonderful actress. The chemistry was great. She was counterbalancing his jerkiness. And then they go and kill her.
Spoiler.
Well, it's like it ended 3 years ago.
Jeez.
And that's the whole thing. It's the reason why he's telling the whole story.
Hey, it finished, by the way. We're about that.
Are we rebooting? Good. Well, How I Met Your Mother. Basically,
let's wrap it up.
Yeah. The
Finally get a
punchline
break.
is he's telling his kids about how he met his mother because the mother has died years previously, and he's kind of asking them for permission to go date Robin again. And they're telling him it's like, because they're like, of course, you know, this is about how you met Mom. We knew that. This is about how you fell in love with Aunt Robin. And you deserve to be with her. So, and that's why people hated it because they loved the mother so much. Kristen Melody.
No, I think people hated it because the show sucked.
It wouldn't have run for 10 years if it sucked.
It was a big tease.
Oh, did you hear that Fox is canceled? Just like out of the blue. Brooklyn Nine-Nine, The Last Man on Earth, and The Mick, like gone. And people are freaking, especially Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Hulu's talking about picking it up like they did with the Mindy Project. But a lot of fans are really upset. And I watched 2 of the 3. I love Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I'm bummed that, you know, if it just goes on a cliffhanger. Last Man on Earth, I'm really bummed because it was a funny show and it ended on a cliffhanger that's never going to be resolved. And the Mick I never got around to watching.
Well, you think they probably do that because NBC owns Hulu? So to me, it's like a lateral move. They know what they're doing, so they're...
Well, people just want the stories to finish off. You know, Brooklyn Nine, give them a few episodes.
I bet you anything there was a boardroom meeting talking about your favorite TV shows like you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And it goes, hey, how can we get more numbers on here? Well, why don't we fake cancel it? And we get people to do petitions and pitchforks in front of the NBC office. But then little do they know, we're already working on another script for versions for Hulu.
I could almost believe that, except that Fox is notorious for canceling shows before they should be canceled.
Yeah, but
Firefly,
you know, some data guy came and goes, look at all these things that people care about. I mean, Firefly got a movie.
But why would
clearly they listen to the fans.
But why would Fox allow another network?
Because it gives them more money. It's not another network. They own Hulu.
No, this is a Fox show. Fox doesn't own Hulu.
Well, Fox is owned
by Fox.
No, somebody else owns Fox.
Yeah, but not NBC. 2 networks can't own each other.
Well, not Hulu then. What's Fox own then? They know they're moved to a streaming service.
Fox has moved to a streaming service?
They'll move the show to a streaming service.
Yeah.
And they'll sell it and they'll make money from it.
But they'll make money by people tuning into their own network to watch it. Because then they'll watch the other shows.
That's the new business model.
No, because then you watch the other shows, you have the lead-ins. So, yeah, I'm going to sign the petition to bring Brooklyn Nine-Nine back. Are we back up?
Yeah, we're ready.
We can take a break?
Yeah.
Woo! People, we have been talking solid for an hour and 48 minutes.
No, we just been talking
No,
for
48 minutes. Oh, darn. I added an hour there. We're almost there. 48 solid minutes. No scripts, no planning.
We're going to take an extended break. We'll be right back. Don't forget 10:30 ticket giveaway for Taste Fest.
Mm-hmm.
And I appreciate everyone checking us out on YouTube and Facebook Live. We'll be back shortly.
Don't miss Lone Star Community Radio on TV and YouTube. Our talk show and music shows are featured on Our City TV, Suddenlink Channel 12, and have their own YouTube channel. Make sure to subscribe to keep up with posted shows and comment on them below the video.
Conroe Coffee is a local coffee shop located in the heart of downtown Conroe at 206 North Main Street, Conroe, Texas. Conroe Coffee serves breakfast, lunch, and dinner, along with other treats and coffee. For more information regarding store hours and delivery in downtown Conroe, Conroe Coffee is on Facebook or by telephone at 936-266-7632.
We would like to thank Conroe Coffee for being a supporter of Lone Star Community Radio and our morning sponsor with Mornings with Lone Star.
An estimated 1 in 10 births will result in a neonatal intensive care stay, also known as the NICU. Overnight, a family can find themselves and their newborn baby